Hi everyone, Happy New Year. Age Graceful here. It's so good to see everyone. I hope that everyone had a beautiful holiday season and that you are ready for all that 2022 has to offer. It's January and it's time for a new makeup look from the Keeping It Real Fun Makeup Collab group. This month we'll be doing interview looks. We're getting ready to go up for a promotion on our job, so we need an interview ready look. The Keeping It Real Fun Makeup Collab group usually posts a new video the second Wednesday of each month at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be leaving all the channel links for the ladies in my description box. Be sure to check out my description box and go and show them some love. If you would like to see what I create, stay tuned.
Here we go.
So for an interview, you would want to have something that was like really basic, really natural. So I have the perfect palette. Karen Ann MUA channel, I won her giveaway. So this is the Morphe 350. It's called the Supernatural Glow. I'm going to be using this palette today. These are the shades. I actually have the palette upside down because of the mirror. But these are the shades, and you can see by this palette, it is like very basic. It can be used on any skin tone. The palette does have a cover with all the names of the shades. So I'm going to place it back on top because it's going to be like a really super basic look. And the shade that I'm going to select as my transition is going to be kind of like a reddish brown color. And it's called How Bizarre. And it sits like dead center in the palette. And I'm going to do like I normally do, and I'm going to put like the palette up in the corner and kind of like point to the shade as I work. So I just wanted to let you know what palette I was going to be concentrating on today. As my eyeshadow base, I'm going to be using the Eye Prep Eye Prime eyeshadow primer from Juvia's Place. This is a long-wearing eyeshadow base which cancels out pigmentation or discoloration. It creates a smooth base with zero creasing, zero clumps, and zero oils. And it also intensifies your colors. From Wish, I'll be using their Pink Champagne Liquid Lip Balm. This is a very intensely moisturizing lip balm, and it goes on clear. It's non-sticky or greasy. As a treat to myself before beginning my no-buy of 2022, I treated myself to some Rephr brushes. Rephr eyeshadow brushes are made from undyed goat hair and are very soft and very similar to the Sonia G style. But of course, they're not quite as expensive. They're $24 a piece, but you can get them discounted if you agree to do a review. I am using brush number 1 to apply and blend out shade number 1, which is How Bizarre. This is my very first time using this brush. I'm enjoying it. It applies the color evenly and blends smoothly and softly. When I purchased this brush, I also purchased brush number 2, 12, and 21. I will be using them in upcoming videos. A girl could definitely get spoiled to using such high quality brushes. Now that I've completed my outer V and crease area, I'm now going to add the shimmery shade of Remarkable to my lid. When I first began putting on the shade Remarkable, I thought that it was a contrast to the How Bizarre shade, but it's not. They look very similar. So I'm going to continue, but I'm going to fix this in a moment. This type of thing happens all the time when we film videos and in real life. All you have to do is not stress and figure out a way to fix it. So I went back into the palette and I went down one more row to the second in position, which is So Divine on row 4. And this shade was a contrast, and I liked it a whole lot better. What do you guys think? To apply this shimmery shade, I used a Morphe standard blending brush. I wanted to compare the Morphe brush with the Morphe product to the rougher brush, and my choice is the rougher. Here I've moistened the Q-tip with a little spray thermal water, and I'm going to do a little bit of cleanup. To line my eyes, I'm going to use Kat Von D's Inkwell. This Inkwell liner has a super fine felt tip, which is very different from the brush type liner that I use by e.l.f. And I found the felt tip to be very, very difficult to use. It was very pointy, sharp, and dry. And I had to go back and forth into the product and continue to try to draw my line. And I wasn't really crazy about that. I have to be completely honest with you about this product. I believe the liner itself, the pigmentation was on point, but getting the product onto your eye, not so great. I really felt as though the tip on this liner really poked and pulled and tugged at the skin on my eye. And that's never good. The mascara that I chose to use for this look is the Lash Edo by Lancome. I just want to coat my lashes with a light bed of mascara so that my eyelashes will have something to sit on. Here I'm just defining the shape of my shadow. I want some symmetry on both sides. I find it that when I cross over my body to my left side that I lose my shape of my shadow sometimes. So it's okay to go back and forth to get it exactly the same. When doing makeup, there are no set rules. You do what you need to do to complete your look. For my complexion, I'm going to begin with the Il Makiage Poreless Facial Primer. This primer comes in an easy-to-use pump-style bottle. I use approximately 1.5 pumps per area of my skin. This is a poreless primer, so it totally minimizes all your pores. This primer is suitable for all skin types. I'll also be using Il Makiage's foundation. This is the After Party foundation in shade number 170. To apply the product to my skin, I'm using a silicone beauty blender. I personally find that my investment goes a much further way when I use the silicone blender and then use a brush to stipple the product into my skin. Have you guys ever looked back at your brushes, your foundation brushes, to see how much product is left in the brush? I don't like seeing my product go to waste, and so I'm very frugal when it comes to my foundation. Here I'm just taking a brush and pulling up the eyeshadow closer to the underside of my brow. I want to make sure that the concealer and the eyeshadow primer are covered. To contour my nose, I'm going to use the shade on the bottom row in the second position. This shade is new to Morphe and it's called Mystery. And the only reason I'm contouring my nose is because I already have a dark spot because of my glasses, so I just want to follow that line all the way through. I will not be contouring or shading any other area on my skin today because this is for a job interview. And so I don't believe that contour is necessary. I'll be concealing with the use of the LA Pro Girl Concealer. This is a full coverage concealer, and the shade that I'm using today is Warm Honey. To bounce this product into my skin, I'm going to be using the e.l.f. Camouflage Concealer Sponge. This sponge is specifically for concealers. To set my concealer, I'll be using the Divine Complexion by Cara Beauty. This is a 6-pan palette of warm shades. I actually have the palette inverted because of the mirror, but as I begin to use the palette, I will tell you the shades in this palette. They are Porcelain, Natural, Beige, Golden Beige, Warm Sand, and Caramel. I selected the shade Warm Sand, which is on the bottom row in the center. This powder palette retails for $19.99 on the Cara Beauty website. However, I got mine from Marshall's for $7.99. So that I can prolong the appearance of my look, I'm using the NYX setting spray. And then I'll take an RT sponge and just tap the excess product into my skin. To add a little bit of color to my cheekbones, I'll be using the BH Cosmetics Chocolate Cherry Truffle Blush Palette. This palette does not have names for the shades. I'll be using the pinky one on the bottom. To secure my eyelashes, I'll be using the new Duo Quick Set Lash Adhesive. This adhesive comes with a paddle brush. That way you don't have the sticky, gluey mess on the bristles of your brush. Per the instructions, it says that the adhesive sets up in 5 seconds. I find that may depend on how much you actually use. I like to use a little bit extra, especially on both ends, because that is the hardest and most difficult part of your eyelash to secure. But I do find I do not have to wait as long as with the original Duo Lash Adhesive, but don't wait too long because it will totally dry up on you. The lashes that I'll be wearing today are by Tony. Tony lashes are an affordable brand that can be purchased from the Dollar Tree. I find that the quality of these lashes is comparable to Ardell. Unfortunately, I tossed the box and I cannot give you the style of these lashes, but like I say, the Dollar Tree, you cannot beat it. So it makes it affordable to try several styles. Well, my lashes are all set, and now it's time for some lip color. Today I'll be using the Lip Sculptor by Black Radiance, and this is in the shade Divine Lady. The Lip Sculptor is a creamy velvety matte lip color that glides on easily. I wanted a shade of lip color that would be interview appropriate and not too bold. I think that this does the trick. Well, I certainly hope that you've enjoyed watching this video. Even though I said that this look was for an interview, it can be used for church or simply going out for lunch. I appreciate you so much for selecting my channel to watch today. Don't forget to go and support the other ladies. Their links will be in my description box.